building on the subject matter for the day. Hopefully, y'all having a powerful Wednesday thus far, man. We dealing with serious subject matter, man. This is something that I've been speaking on this for the past few videos, man, because I feel like it's important, and I feel like this is one of the most underrated topics in today's time, man. The topic of black men, depression, black men and suicide, just black men and mental health in general. I feel like this is something that gets swept under the rug, man. So we gonna keep bringing it to the light. But what's the word? How y'all living and feeling on this wonderful Wednesday? Talk to me before we start building on this subject matter, man. What's the word? Let me know how y'all living and feeling. Let me know how y'all living and feeling, man. We checking in, man. We checking in. Rayshawn, peace. What's happening? What's the word? And from our sisters that's tapping in, man, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to the sisters that's really striving to gain an understanding of the psychology of the black man's mind, so that we can, bridge gaps and things like that, man, to improve our relationships. Shout out to the sisters that's willing to listen to what the brothers have to say. Shout out to the sisters that can take some criticism, constructive criticism. Shout out to the brothers that can take constructive criticism. That's very important in regards to repairing the damage that has been caused in regards to the black family. Patrick, peace, what's happening? Big Smooth, Akun with peace, what's happening? Mr. Sanders, what's happening? Moni, peace. Beast by Bless Zone out. Peace, what's happening? So just shout out to everybody, man, that's just able to take constructive criticism without getting overly emotional and things along those lines, man. And shout out to the people that's just really willing to listen to what the other side has to offer, man. When black women listen, I take jewels out of everything. We supposed to take the best parts from everything, man. So when I hear a sister talking bad about brothers, for one, if she not talking about me, I don't get offended. But I'm listening to what it is that she has to say because this is based on her experiences. Yeah, this may not be me, but it could be a lot of brothers that fit that description. So I need to listen to what she's saying so I can understand what's really out here, and see what I can do to help fix the situation. And vice versa for the brother. When the brothers are venting, talking about these women out here, shout out to the sisters that's willing to remove themselves from it, and say, well, he's not talking about me. I'm not that type of woman, but let me hear what he has to say about these other women that he's had to deal with. So shout out to the people that's mature enough mentally to be able to do that, man, to be able to listen to the other side talk bad about the side that you own, and not feel some type of way and not take it personal. That's strength. That's strength right there, man. That's how you're supposed to do it because, again, we could take the best parts from everything, man. I've taken a lot of jewels away from women that's out here so-called bashing men because, again, while it may not be me that they talking about, it's a lot of brothers out here that fit that description. So some of those brothers I might be able to tap into, I might be able to reach, and we can help solve some problems out here, man, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's about solutions, man. But we're not going to be able to supply anybody with some solutions if we're not willing to listen first and foremost. Devin, peace, what's happening? So I'm going to keep talking about black men dealing with depression and black men dealing with anxiety, all of that type of stuff, man, until the world starts to talk about it a lot more. Because, again, swept under the rug. We got to talk about these things, man. A lot of sisters are in relationships with brothers. A lot of sisters are married to brothers. And these brothers are suffering, And some of these sisters actually want to help the brother, or at least strive to help the brother, but they don't know. They don't know what to do. They don't know what steps to take. They don't know how to communicate with said brother, So we got to do a better job of communicating that to them, letting them know kind of like how to approach us, man, how to communicate with us, man. So it starts with us letting them know how to approach the situation. Some of them are willing to listen, contrary to popular belief. You do have some sisters that's sitting back taking notes when we talk. That is a thing out here, man. So again, don't let social media cloud y'all judgment. And that's what a lot of brothers are doing. Social media got y'all believing that there ain't an ounce of good women, like no good women on the planet, minus like 5. That's false, man. It's a lot of women. Just because you may not be seeing them actively in the chats and things like that, don't mean that they not out here taking notes. Trust me. It's a lot of sisters out here listening to brothers. It's a lot of sisters out here listening to me that don't even be tapped in. But they listening though. So they out here, man. Brothers, don't lose hope, man. It's a lot of women out here just taking notes, man. They really want to help. you know, and they really want to be there for the black man. So it's a lot of that out here, man. All we got to do is continue to communicate what it is that we need and request from them. That's what we got to do a better job of doing. How these sisters supposed to treat us right or treat us better or whatever the case if we don't let them know? You know, if we don't let them know what we going through, if we don't let them know how things are affecting us, what is affecting us, like that part is on us, man. They not mind readers. They can't read our minds. We have got to let them know, just like we want them to let us know some things. We got to let them know, like, this is what's up, man. This is what I'm dealing with mentally. I'm dealing with the anxiety. I'm dealing with the depression. Like, we got to let them know that. If they don't know what they supposed to do, man, Magic, I'm telling you, a lot of brothers suffer from anxiety, and I feel like for the most part, a lot of us don't even know it. You know, like, I know I got some form of it. Again, I don't deal with a lot of this stuff. I don't deal with being clinically diagnosed, and y'all know my reason is for that. I'm able to do the knowledge to myself, man. Listen. I'm the best knower of myself. I know, like I said, I know what I'm dealing with in regards to just analyzing and examining myself. I know what I'm dealing with. I'm not gonna lie to myself. You know, I don't need for one of they professionals to clinically diagnose me with certain things. Certain things you just know. You know, certain things you just know you dealing with. You know when you have an imbalance. You know what I mean? Like, you know when something is not right with you mentally. You know when something is not right with you physically. So when you know that something is not right, that's an imbalance. So you know that. You know, especially when it's something mental, especially when it's something like anxiety. That's easy to pinpoint and identify in regards to examining yourself. So when you have knowledge of self, man, you are able to examine a lot of these things for yourself without somebody that has some type of credential telling you about yourself. Like, it's stuff that you already know, man, just based off of examination. You know, and I'm not striving to discourage anybody from getting clinically diagnosed. I'm just saying there are some of us that are so tapped in to ourselves that, like, some of these things we just know we dealing with, you know, and we striving to do what's right and exact to correct the error, you know. Kuma, for sure. You know, communication is big, and listen, that's something that I'm always constantly striving to work on. That's been my biggest flaw in life in general, just communicating. It's easy for me to shut down. That's part of, like, you know, that's part of what I deal with. Shutting down, needing to isolate, not feeling like it. Man, I like 90% of the time I don't feel like communicating with people. 90% of the time I don't really feel like interacting and talking to people. Man, that's just how it is. And I've been that way for a very long time, to the point where it's hard to pinpoint the origin of it. It felt like this is how I've always been, you know, but something obviously led to me being like this. But it's hard to pinpoint it, man, because I feel like I done been this way my whole life, you know, to where I've been ducked off, isolated, you know, and that has its perks. But it also it also has its disadvantages when you really need to get a point across, but just don't feel like it. You know, so that prevents you from making progress in a lot of areas, because at the times where you need to communicate, you don't feel like it, so that's gonna hold you back. Or when you need to communicate and don't, you know, and really don't know how to get it off your chest, because again, communication ain't your thing. So you may say something, but you didn't really get everything off your chest how you needed to. You know, so a person such as myself, man, that's part of the problem. You know, that's part of the problem. Ruben, for sure. That working out and eating healthy, definitely. You know, definitely can help. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely. But like I said, like, I don't got time to be clinically diagnosed for something, because all they gonna do is strive to give you some medication. My problem with that is, like, the medication doesn't necessarily solve the problem as to why, you know, or the origin, you know, and that's why I don't really like Western medicine. You know, when you go to them with a problem, they just prescribe you with something, but nobody is really getting to the bottom of or the root cause of your situation. Why do I have this anxiety, yo? Why am I depressed? What's happening? Why is this, like, what's happening? Why did this manifest within me? You know, Kuma, for sure. You know, but let me tap into the actual subject matter in regards to how to communicate with a black man that's suffering from depression. The first thing, and I read this in the book that I actually posted, Black Man or Black Men and Depression. I'll bring this book back up. Boom, Black Men and Depression. You know, John Head, I believe that's the name. But I read this in that book, or in that book. And one thing that he said in regards to communicating with black men that suffer from depression, I found this very interesting, but I feel like it's right and exact. He said a lot of times when you when you are a woman and you are striving to encourage a black man to either get help or just help himself in dealing with depression, like one thing that we don't necessarily care to hear about is like the emotional side of things. So like we don't, like when you talking to a black man that's dealing with depression, like we don't care about the overly emotional side. So he said one thing to do is to get them to focus on the physical ailments that are caused by the depression. You know, and depression can lead to a decline in your health. So he was like, you know, instead of just talking about the emotional aspect of depression, you know, get that brother to realize his health is declining. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to that brother about his weight gain, or talk to that brother about his severe weight loss. You know, if his teeth are deteriorating because of the depression, talk to him about that. Go get him to see a dentist or something along those lines. So they was like focus on the physical aspects that are caused by the depression instead of like the emotional part, because the dude really don't care about that, you know. And I found that to be kind of interesting. So he was like, you better is you will be it will be you will probably more so get your point across if you get them to focus on those physical ailments. So it'll be better that way. You better suited to say, all right, listen, your health is declining. I'm noticing that rapid weight loss, or I'm noticing this weight gain. And you need to go see somebody about this weight gain, or you need to go work out, try to get in shape, lose some weight, things like that. So when you give them to focus on the physical ailments that's caused by the actual depression, they say that tends to help in regards to communication instead of just harping in on the emotional side of the mental health. Like they was like most brothers really ain't caring to talk about that because we don't care to open up about that. You know, because we keep a lot of that stuff locked in and suppressed. You might not get much out of us if you just try to communicate via that side, the emotional side. So just focus on the physical ailments. Focus on the physical ailments. You know, so depression causes a lot of physical ailments. And they said that's one way to communicate with them. Don't focus on that emotional side, because that black man might not open up. So get him to realize that his physical health is declining. Get him to realize that his physical health is deteriorating. That's more of an eye opener to us. Like, all right, man, yeah, you're right, man. You know, I'm gaining this weight. Or you're right, I'm losing this weight. I haven't been eating, or things like that. You know, I need to go get in the gym. I need to get back working out. You know, my heart, like my lungs, that all of that, man, is failing me, man. So get them to realize that. Get them to focus on that. You know, and all of this stuff can lead, like all of this stuff can be caused by depression. Like a depressed mind can lead to all of these physical ailments. So harp in on those physical ailments. Another thing they talked about, which this is simple, you know, when you're dealing with a person that has mental health issues, be supportive. Like that's it. Be supportive. Like that's literally, it's just that simple. Be supportive, you know, be supportive. Last thing we need to deal with, or last thing a brother needs to deal with when he's dealing with any form of depression, is an unsupportive individual. So even if you are a brother and you deal with depression, you got to make sure you don't have those unsupportive people in your cipher, man, in your immediate circle. Get rid of those people. Stop dealing with those individuals, man. You need supportive people around you. It's almost like an alcoholic, man, that's trying to stop. You can't be around other alcoholics, man. You can't be around people that don't support you trying to sober up and be clean. You can't be around these individuals that don't care anything about your goal to be sober, and every time you come around, they got alcohol. Like, that's a trigger, man. You can't be around that. So when you suffering from like depression and things like that, man, anybody that's not supportive, anybody that can lead to the decline in your feelings and your energy, you got to remove yourself from that situation. You got to remove yourself from that situation. So when you are somebody that's dealing with a brother that's depressed, man, you just got to make sure you be supportive. That's the only energy that that brother needs at that particular time. Because again, as a black man, we already feel like the weight of the world is on our shoulders. And a lot of us feel like we just, some of us, I ain't gonna say a lot, I can't speak for everybody, but I know some brothers feel like, man, it's the odds are stacked up against us, man. You know, and a lot of us feel like we doing everything in our power, you know, to provide, man, to be there for the fam, man, to be there for the people that need us, but it's hard, you know. So the last thing that we need is somebody that's just really not supportive, because we got to go out here and fight hard just for the bare minimum. As black men, you know, we got to fight hard just for the bare minimum. We fighting hard for the bare minimum, for the bare minimum, you know. So we just need that support. That's it. Because it's rough out here, man, just for us to go earn a living, to provide the basic necessities of life. And it's complicated. And like I said, most brothers, contrary to popular belief, that's what they want to do. They want to provide. They want to provide, but corporate America to make that quite complicated. Quite complicated. And you know what's sad? You know, and a lot of people, like, I bring up the number and I'm like, all right, you know, black men, we still, like, as a whole, we make more money than black women, things like that. But it's not that much. You know, when you look at the number, like, we barely make more annually than black women. Barely. You know, like, white men make like 10,000 more on average than white women. We make like, I don't even think it's 3,000 more on average. The last time I checked, it might be like 2,500 more. And people be like, and I don't care what nobody say. Who makes more money? Oh, it ain't important. Listen, the man has been taught since birth to be the breadwinner. That's been ingrained in most men since birth, to be the breadwinner. What do we associate mostly with bread? It is money. It's income. So I don't care what most people say. Oh, it's not important. Yes, it is. Subconsciously, it is, because that's been ingrained in us since we were little. It's been ingrained in a lot of us men to be the breadwinner. So when we feel like we not the breadwinner, it's taking a toll on us mentally. We feel like we failing. We feel like we less of a man. We don't care what you saying. So we don't care if you saying, oh, it don't matter. It's not important. We don't care. It has been ingrained in us since birth to be the breadwinner. So if we don't feel like we the breadwinner, man, we feel like we less of a man. I'm just letting y'all know the psychology behind most dudes, because that's how we was raised. We was raised to be the head of the household. We was raised to provide. We was raised to be the breadwinner. And that's just a fact. So we don't care who's sitting around here talking about it don't matter. It does. I don't even care if a dude says it don't matter. It does. Because that's how we was raised. That's the consensus. As a man, you supposed to be the breadwinner. And we making just about $2,500 more on average than black women. That don't make us feel good. That don't make us feel good collectively when we feel like our role is to provide. That don't make us feel good when we feel like our role is to be head of household, the breadwinner. That doesn't make us feel good. That makes us feel like less of a man. And again, I really don't care what most brothers say. I don't care what most sisters say. This has been the consensus for a long time, and this is how a lot of us was raised, and it's in our DNA. It's in our DNA. That's what we striving to do. We striving to be the breadwinner. We striving to bring home the bread. That's what we striving to do. So the moment that it's not happening at the rate in which we would like, we feel some type of way as men. And that's taking a toll on us mentally. You know, so you got to be mindful. You got to be mindful of that. If you a sister dealing with a brother and he's striving to do everything in his power to be the breadwinner, but corporate America is making it hard for him, just be supportive. Be supportive, man, because all he want to do is provide. All he want to do is be the head of the household and be the breadwinner. Just be supportive, man, because he's striving to do everything he can to be that. But again, we dealing with a wicked system that don't want us to be that. So we fighting through all type of obstacles. Be supportive. Be supportive, fam. My brother Antonio, peace. What's happening? Doreen, what's happening? Darrell, what's happening? Lindell, peace. What's happening? Mr. Sanders, for sure. And another thing. No, this is the third thing. How to communicate with a brother dealing with depression. Never take anything personal. Never take anything personal. Mastermind, peace. What's happening? If you are a sister and you dealing with a brother that's suffering from depression, do not take anything personal. More than likely, you are not the cause of his depression. You are not the cause of his anxiety. More than likely, he done been dealing with these things before you came into the picture. If y'all ain't been dating since birth, he was probably dealing with the depression and the anxiety before you. So don't take anything personal. When that brother needs to duck off, when that brother needs to isolate himself, when that brother doesn't feel like being bothered, do not take it personal. It has little to do with you. You are not the cause of his depression. You are not the cause. He was feeling this way before you. So don't take it personal when he doesn't feel like communicating or when he doesn't feel like talking, when he needs to duck off and isolate himself. It has nothing to do with you. It has little to do with you. It has little to do with you. So don't take things personal. The moment that you start taking things personal, I'm telling you, that's going to make matters worse. That's going to make the anxiety worse for the brother. You know, because now it's going to be that added pressure. He's like, now I gotta, like, I can't duck off. I can't isolate myself because now she taking it personal. She gonna feel some type of way. So now that's increasing the brother's anxiety because you taking these things personal. That's not personal. You shouldn't be taking them personal. But the moment you do, that's making the anxiety worse for the brother. Because now he gonna feel like I can't ask for this space. I can't isolate myself because she gonna take it the wrong way. So that's increasing the anxiety. Don't do that. Don't take anything personal, man. When a brother is not in the right space mentally, man, he's just gonna need a space. And when he requests the space, just give him the space. Give him the space, man. It's nothing personal. Giving him the space will make everything better, will make everything healthier. Give him the space when requested. You know? Don't try to force him out of his comfort zone when he asking you for some space. Like, respect that. Respect it. Don't take it personal and think it's something wrong with you. No, it's not. Is everything wrong with the brother dealing with it? You know, and he's trying to deal with it, but he needs the space. He needs the isolation. He needs the solitary confinement. Like, he needs that in order to deal with it. You know, because at the end of the day, you can't cure, you know what I'm saying, the depression. You can't cure the anxiety. You know, the brother has to deal with these things on his own. So when he asks for that space to do that, give him the space, man. Don't take it personal. Do not take it personal at all. And that's what I see a lot of people do that. I see a lot of sisters take those type of things personally. Don't do it. And that goes hand in hand with the next point I want to make, which is do not feel responsible for the depression. Like I said, for the most part, if you dealing with a brother that's depressed, he was depressed before you. So don't feel like you are the origin of his depression. Don't do that. Don't do that. Especially if the brother is telling you. Especially if the brother is literally telling you, like, man, I've been dealing with this for a very long time. Please believe that. Do not feel like you are responsible for the depression. Yes, if you do certain things that the guy has told you is a trigger, that's one thing. But again, you not solely responsible for the actual depression. You know, so if you do something that's a trigger that sets them off, that's one thing, but that don't mean you are the origin of the depression. You just did something that triggered it. That doesn't mean you are responsible for it. You know, so again, and that's another thing too, listen to the brother when he tells you what the triggers are. I can't harp on that. I can't harp on that hard enough, man. When a brother tells you, hey, I don't like X, Y, and Z, like, that sets off my anger. That sets off my anxiety. Please respect that. That brother is literally trying to tell you, like, can you not do X, Y, and Z? Because if you do, that's a trigger for me. I don't know how I will respond. So I would rather not be in an environment to where somebody is doing this stuff intentionally. So when a brother opens up enough to you to let you know what his triggers are, please honor and respect those triggers, man. That brother is like, listen, that's that brother crying out for help. Listen, a brother that's trying to stop drinking, he's telling you, hey, I would prefer if we didn't have alcohol in the house and you bring alcohol in the house. Come on, man, that's disrespectful. You know, so if a brother is letting you know, like, hey, man, when you do X, Y, and Z, that's like a trigger for my anger based off of, you know what I'm saying? Based off of what happened in the past. Like, that triggers my anxiety. That triggers my anger. That triggers my depression. I would appreciate it if you was kind of mindful in regards to not doing this. Please respect that. Please honor that. I can't harp on that enough. Because a lot of times people don't take that stuff seriously. People don't take it seriously when somebody say, man, could you not do X, Y, and Z? Because some of the stuff that might trigger the anxiety and the anger and things like that, it might be viewed as small or irrelevant or childish to some people. But everybody has different triggers, man. Everybody has different triggers, man. So you can't view somebody's trigger as insignificant. Oh, you shouldn't be bothered by this. You shouldn't be bothered when I do that. Well, I am. So when somebody is telling you that they are bothered by something that you feel like they shouldn't be bothered by, honor that. Don't talk down on them. Don't tell them that they shouldn't be bothered by something, because they are, and they are open enough to let you know that that bothers them. So the moment you talk down on them, you have created a bigger problem. Now they not gonna share anything with you now at that moment. I tried to tell you that something bothers me, and when I told you this, you made it seem like it was insignificant and it shouldn't bother me. So now I'm not telling you anything else. Now I'm about to go back. I'm shutting down. So when somebody builds up that energy, builds up that strength to let you know, hey, like, this bothers me when you do it. It might seem small to you, but it's big to me. It gets on my nerves. Please honor that. Because the last thing a brother needs to be around when he is battling any type of mental issues are triggers. Triggers, man. You can't be around triggers, man. Can't be around them. Asha, peace, what's happening? Hey, hopefully it reaches the many, but we know how it go. It's probably gonna reach the few. When you start talking about important things and you start trying to bring solutions to the table, we know how that go. Normally that doesn't reach the masses, normally. Alonzo, what's happening? What you say, Mr. D. Graimuno? Peace, what's happening? What's happening? For sure. Yeah, we gonna drop the jewels. So don't feel responsible, man. And when that brother lets you know what the triggers are, honor those triggers, respect those triggers, and try to be mindful. Try to be mindful of those triggers, man. Because again, like I said, when somebody builds up the strength to let you know, hey, this bothers me, I would appreciate it if you didn't do it. Just be mindful, man. Just strive not to do those things that are triggers, man. Because again, everybody has different triggers, man. What sets one person off may be very small and insignificant to the next. But listen, that don't mean write it off. So just because you feel like, that bothers you, like, nah, that's you. That is you. Everybody has little pet peeves and things like that. And the pet peeves differ from person to person. So again, this may be small to you, but it's big to the next person. So don't just write it off, man. Again, listen, strive to gain an understanding and just be mindful, man. Mindfulness is key. Mindfulness is key. And another point that I want to touch on in regards to dealing with brothers that's suffering from depression. And I kind of read this in the book. It said, don't feel like you changing your behavior or becoming a different person or whatever the case may be as a woman will automatically cure the depression. Like, don't do that. And a lot of people do that. They think, again, because they start to feel like they are the source. So you would have a lot of people ask, well, what can I do? What do you need from me? Outside of the focusing, like just being mindful of the triggers, outside of that, man, just strive to be the best version of yourself. You changing your behavior won't necessarily cure somebody's depression. It won't necessarily cure somebody's anxiety. Now, if you just being ignorant on purpose, like, yeah, that's not good. That's not helpful. But you just striving to be the best version of yourself is all anybody can ask. But don't try to make drastic changes on the strength of you thinking these drastic changes is going to cure this brother of his depression. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. A change in your behavior is not going to necessarily be the cure for anxiety, depression, and anger. Because again, you're not the cause. You're not the cause. So if you're not the cause, why would the change of behavior lead to the cure? So you got to understand that you are not the cause. So you changing your behavior drastically would not be the cure because you're not the cause. But you are thinking you are the cause because you have taken things personally, which is what you should not do. So the moment you take something personally, now you think you are the cause. So now you think you need to change your whole identity. No, you are not the cause. Don't take it personal and don't try to drastically change your behavior. Again, just be mindful of the triggers. Once you are mindful of the triggers, man, be the best version of yourself. That's the only helpful thing that you can do. So when you asking somebody with depression, what can I do? Man, just be the best version of yourself. Keep progressing. Be healthy. Be supportive. Be positive. But don't try to drastically change your behavior, like drastically change your identity, because you're not the cause of it. Because then now you gonna really lose yourself. You're gonna try to change up and then realize that still ain't the cure this dude of his situation. Because you wasn't the problem. You wasn't the source. You are not the source. So don't feel like you making a drastic change in your behavior, sister, is going to cure that brother of his depression. That's not it. Like I said, you're not the cause. When you are not the cause, you changing won't be the cure. So you got to understand that. A lot of people don't understand that. They was, what can I do? How can I change as a person? Like, no, be supportive. That's it. Be supportive, be positive, be peaceful, things like that. Things like that, man. That's it. Be the best version of yourself. Keep striving, man. Keep striving for elevation, self-improvement, things like that. That's it. That's all we can ask for. And just be mindful of those triggers, man. That's it. That's it. And another thing too. Oh yeah, Big Smooth, for sure. For sure. Magic, what you say? Touch on this topic. There's a lot of guys out there that's dealing with depression. Oh yeah, for sure, man. Seriously. Because you got two sets. You got the brothers that's clinically diagnosed, and you got the brothers that's not clinically diagnosed, but yet still dealing with it. See, we got to understand that. Just because somebody is not clinically diagnosed with something don't mean they don't have it. Don't mean they're not suffering from it. It's plenty of people that haven't been clinically diagnosed with diseases, yet they still walking around with diseases. But just because a doctor didn't tell them that they have it, don't mean that they don't have it. So it's a lot of brothers that haven't received a clinical diagnosis, but yet they still depressed, they still suffering from anxiety and things like that. Some brothers know it because brothers have knowledge of self and they tapped in and in tune and they striving to correct, like I said, the error, man. They striving to correct it to the best of their abilities. Because y'all know how it is, man. They quick to prescribe the meds for us. And we know how some of these side effects can get. You take some meds for you take some antidepressants, and a side effect is suicidal thoughts. Man, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. We're gonna strive to change the way that we eat, man. We're gonna exercise to release those endorphins. We're gonna journal. Like, we're gonna take these measures first, man. We're gonna get some sun. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna do all of these things, man, before we let somebody prescribe us some meds that's gonna lead to suicidal thoughts, weight gain, like weird stuff like that. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. James, peace for sure. For sure. For sure, at the end of the day, man, you can teach anybody and you can learn from anybody. But it's some people that feel like they above that. Some people feel like they can't learn from anybody. Some people feel like they know it all. And I feel sorry for those individuals. What they say, the wise man knows that he knows nothing at all. I live by that law, and that keeps me hungry for that knowledge, that information, that wisdom, things like that. Because I know that I know nothing at the end of the day. That's why I'm always striving, man. That's why I'm always doing the knowledge. That's why I'm always researching. Because I don't know nothing. And that keeps me hungry. The moment I think I know something, what they say, the moment you stop learning, that's when you die. And I live by that. The moment you stop learning, that's when you die, man. So I'm always striving to learn. I don't feel like I know anything, man, but I'm striving. I'm striving. Always striving. And another thing too, sisters, when you dealing with a brother that's dealing with depression, hold off on the pressure. Now, again, this doesn't mean just allow a brother to sit around and do absolutely nothing. For the most part, for the most part, most of the brothers that I know that's dealing with some mental issues and things like that, they gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like we in the workforce, you know what I'm saying? We put in work. We not allowing that to distract us from like our work. Now there are some brothers that have it to the point where they can't even function. But most brothers that's dealing with these type of thoughts, we putting in work. You know, so the last thing we need though is like that added pressure. Pressure and anxiety do not go together, like at all. So if you definitely dealing with a brother that's dealing with anxiety, pressure is the last thing that that brother needs, man. He gonna explode. He gonna explode. Like I said, for the most part, most of us brothers, we understand the assignment. We striving to be that. You know, that's been embedded in us since birth. We striving to be the breadwinner. We striving to be the head of the household. Just relax, you know, and let us keep putting in the work. Just relax, be supportive, because that's what we striving for at the end of the day, contrary to popular belief. Most of us brothers, that's what we striving for. Just relax. Chill on that added pressure, man. Again, that's going to make the anxiety skyrocket. The anxiety will elevate the moments and man, pressure and anxiety. That's like the worst thing that you can supply to a brother that's dealing with anxiety. Pressure. Don't perform well under pressure. That don't mean that this brother will not be productive in life. It's just the added pressure that no. That's gonna lead to heart problems, man. That brother gonna stress himself out. If he feels like you are really dependent on him to do something and be something, and to bring home this, that, and the third, because he already feels this way. See, this is what people not understanding. I just talked about that. This is the way we was embedded since birth. So he already feel like, man, I gotta be the breadwinner. So if he feels that way already subconsciously, and in the physical, he's not that right now, he already feels some type of way about himself. So the moment somebody comes through and confirms that, so the moment you come in and confirm that with some pressure, man, that dude, listen, that's gonna drive him crazy. That's gonna drive him crazy. Walker, peace, what's happening? Because he's already feeling that. So it's almost like being Captain Obvious. You supplying unnecessary pressure because he already feels the pressure. He already knows that pressure exists. So the moment you come out and put it on him, now you about to drive that man crazy. He about to go crazy now, because now it's out there in the atmosphere. You know, his biggest fears have come true. His biggest fears have manifested. Seriously, man, he liable to work himself through the ground because now you put that pressure on him. You know, so that brother got that anxiety. He's like, man, I already feel like I ain't generating enough. I already feel like we struggling and we shouldn't. Everybody depending on me. And now you done confirmed it. Man, let me pick up another job. Man, I ain't gonna never go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm about to work myself into a grave. You know what I'm saying? Because that's that added pressure. I gotta make this happen. They depending on me. Relax. Like, you gotta count that anxious brother, that brother dealing with anxiety, man. The only way to neutralize anxiety is with peace, not with pressure. You know, so you got to get that, bro. You got to supply that brother with peace. Again, like I said, he gonna work. He's working. You know, and that's part of the anxiety. He feel like he should be somewhere else in life, and he's not, because society is putting up all these barriers and these obstacles. So that he's already dealing with that added pressure. So we don't need any more from the sisters, man, because we already feel, like I said, the weight of the world is already on our shoulders. That's how we feel. Whether that's how y'all feel or not, that's how most of us feel. So we don't need the added pressure from the sisters, man. We already put enough pressure on ourselves, hence why we have the anxiety in the first place, for the most part. Mr. Sanders, what you say? You say, I'm dealing with depression right now. Some people have people to trust, to talk to, and some don't. Some people have support from their women or loved ones, and some never truly. And for sure, you know, and the unfortunate part about all of this is, even if you have people to talk to and things like that, that still don't necessarily mean that person would ever cure that depression. Because again, it's deeper than that. You know, it's deeper than that. You know, there are plenty of people that have had a supportive cipher, is what I like to call a supportive inner circle, and they still committed suicide. They still off themselves, and they had nothing but love around them. You know, so it's been plenty of people that have had nothing but love, around them, and it still wasn't enough. You know, so that's the unfortunate part when you start talking about mental health, when you start talking about depression and things like that. You can have all the love around you. Because like I said, a lot of this is an inside job. Man, like I said, somebody can tell you, K Reno wrapped it in the song, man. Somebody can tell you they believe in you, but if you don't believe in yourself, it holds no weight really. So all these people on the outside talking about how much they believe in you and all the potential they see in you, if a person doesn't see that in themselves, and if they just look in the mirror and see failure, like it's nothing, it's hardly anything anybody could tell that person. If that person wakes up every day and they just see failure, it's nothing that you could tell a person like that. I don't care how many people around them love them. I don't care how many people around support them. If that person wakes up every day, if that brother wakes up every day and sees nothing but failure in the mirror, it's nothing anybody can say. It's like it's on that, bro. It's an inside job. You know, it's an inside job. You know, sometimes those supportive people can assist in getting that brother to change his self-image, and sometimes it won't work that way. But what you shouldn't do if you're one of those supportive people on the outside is feel guilty, even though that's almost a natural reaction. But like if you're dealing with somebody, man, and they off themselves and things like that, they commit suicide. Like, don't feel guilty, man. Don't feel guilty, especially if you did everything in your power to try to prevent it. Don't feel guilty, man. That person had their mind made up. They had their mind made up. They saw failure every day. They feel like the world would be better off without them. They decided their mind was made up a long time ago. Wasn't nothing that you could have done to prevent that. You know, so don't feel guilty. Don't be like, man, I should have did X, Y, and Z. I should have did more. Nah, you did all of what you needed to do. Don't feel guilty. Don't do it. Asha, for sure. You know, for sure. And we gotta tap in and have more builds on this type of stuff, man. Because like it's real. Boom, what's happening? You know, it's real in the field, man. It's real in the field. It's real in the field. You know, it's real in the field, man. People don't understand. Hey, like I said, depression, anxiety ain't these are brain disorders, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like this is it's real, like chemical imbalance, brain disorder, like brain damage, like your brain damage. There could be a portion of your brain that's literally damaged, man. So we be making like people don't really be understanding the science behind what's really happening. We don't we when we start talking about the mind, we don't think that that has any connection to the brain. You know, and it does, man. Like literally, certain portions of your brain, man, are connected to certain thoughts and things like the certain emotional states. So we don't make that connection, man. We got to start making that connection. That's important. That's very important, man. So we got to understand. We got to understand the real science behind depression. We got to understand the real science behind emotional states. Definitely connected to certain portions of the brain. Like I said, man, if you a brother that played football, man, you see these wrestlers. You see a lot of these football players, man, that just lose it. It's called CTE for a reason. I talked about that in another stream. It's called CTE for a reason. That's your brain being damaged and it's causing you to act erratically. You know, it's causing you to act like that, man, because your brain is literally damaged. It's literally damaged, man. So you literally got to repair the brain. Just like if you was having troubles breathing, you know, I got lung damage. You got to repair the damage caused to the lungs. Seriously. So when you got issues like this, man, you got to repair the damage to the brain, man. You got to repair the damage to the brain. Oh, James, for sure, man. That pressure to succeed and to be the head, like, and to be the breadwinner, like all of this, like that pressure is real, and that the anxiety that comes along with that is crazy. Especially when you see how society is operating today. Like that makes the anxiety 1,000 times worse, you know? 1,000 times worse, man. Like we striving to succeed. You know, we striving to be successful. And on top of that, not only is a black man striving to be successful, but we also striving to survive, unfortunately. You know, we striving to survive. Like, us making it home at night is not necessarily a guarantee. Us walking through that door is not necessarily a guarantee. We can be driving and a cop can be having a bad day, and that spells the end of our life because they having a bad day. So we striving to be successful, and we striving to survive. And on top of the cop, we go inside, we go into the wrong neighborhood that's filled with people that look like us, and that can cause the end of our lives. So we striving to survive and be successful. It's dangerous. As they say, stay dangerous. Like, that's the objective for us. We striving to be successful, but then we also striving to survive. We feel like we public enemy number one subconsciously. Some of us feel that way consciously. But you dealing with a man that feels like he is public enemy number one. You dealing with a person that feel like the whole entire world is up against them. It may not be the truth, but that's how we feel. You know, that's how a lot of us feel. When we walk out that door, we feel like at any given moment, anything can happen. So we got to keep our head on constant swivel mode. That's not a peaceful way to live. But that's the reality for a lot of us, because we don't know in which direction the danger will come from. It can come from these white folks. It can come from these brothers. It can come from this sister. It can come from anybody. So we looking at everybody in a suspect light, like, man, I don't trust nobody. So you dealing with that. Every time we walk out the door, we like it's dangerous out here. No matter where we go, no matter where we at, it's dangerous. So we striving to survive. That anxiety is real. And how many other cultures can relate to that? How many other ethnic groups can relate to that? Where no matter where you go, your life is in danger. No matter where you go, your life is in danger. No matter where you go. And I hate it when other groups try to speak on that as if they can relate to that. They cannot. You know, no matter where we go, our life is in danger. No matter where we go, there is a threat to our existence for survival. And we know this. No matter where you go. No matter where you go, black man, you got to worry about surviving, and you got to worry about making it home. Whether you thinking about it consciously or not, subconsciously is there. Subconsciously is there. Subconsciously, the thought and the feeling is there, to where it's like, man, I got to watch these fools. You know, you at a function. You don't even realize, but I got to watch these fools. I ain't no telling what somebody going to do around here. You go to a function where it's all white folk. I got to watch these fools. Ain't no telling what somebody going to do. You watching everybody. You watching everybody. Nobody else can relate to that. Nobody else can relate to that, man. Nobody else. Nobody else. I don't care what anybody is saying. Nobody else can relate to that. So don't speak on it. Don't speak on it as if you can relate to that. Nobody else can relate to that, fam. Nobody. Public enemy number one. We worried about making it to the crib. Y'all know it's sad, man. It's sad, man. Listen, when brothers reach certain ages, it's a celebration. You know, brothers make it to 30 and they like, man, that's an accomplishment for a black man out here. Coming from a certain neighborhood, coming from a certain side of town, you made it to 30. Congratulations. You made it to 21. Congratulations. I ain't think I was gonna live that long. Congrats. You made it to 18. Congrats. Like, come on, man. We are the only group of people who do that. What other group of people do you know when the young boys turn 19, 20, they be like, yeah, I ain't think I was gonna make it to 19 and 20. Who else got to come up like that? What other group of people got to come up to where when they hit 21, like, man, I ain't think I was gonna make it to 21. Who doing that? This is black men, young black boys. That's their thought. That became popular with young black boys saying, man, I ain't think I was gonna make it to 16. I ain't think I was gonna make it to 18. Man, ain't no other group of boys doing. Ain't nobody else environment like that. And that's just that environment. Then we get out of that environment and think we safe, and we still got to worry about life. We still got to worry about life. We still got to worry about getting discriminated. discriminated. Man, I made it to 18. Oh, snaps. So now I ain't got a brother that didn't think he was gonna make it to 18. He don't have no plans. So once he reaches 18, it's like, man, I ain't think I was gonna make it this far. So now I don't know what to do with my life. That brother didn't reach the age of 21. Like, man, I ain't think I was gonna get to 18, let alone 21. I have no plans. I have no purpose. I have nothing. Because I didn't think I was gonna make it this far. And unfortunately, a lot of them don't make it that far. You know, so that's the reality that a lot of us face, man. Making it to certain ages, and it's like a celebration. Man, don't no other group celebrate making it to 18. Like, don't nobody else do that. We do that. We do that. And there's nothing cool about that, man. But that just goes to show you the anxiety and where it stems from and where it all starts. You know, we walking around, we trying to survive our neighborhoods as black men, as young black men, black boys. So where we don't think we gonna make it to a certain age. And that's the common thought. That's the common perspective. Like, that's dangerous, man. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. And again, a lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people do not talk about that, man. A lot of people don't talk about that, man. Like, that's dangerous, man. You with a brother that didn't even think he was gonna make the 18, he 30. Man, he just grateful to be alive, man. I ain't think I was gonna make it this far, man. I'm just grateful to be alive, man. I'm just embracing life because I ain't supposed to be here. I'm just gonna embrace life. Like, man, that brother don't have no purpose, man. He don't have no past. He never thought beyond 18, 19. So he finna just live mindlessly. If he don't get the right type of guidance, you know what I'm saying? He just finna be out here doing whatever. The wife is in the building. Y'all say peace to the wife. Our court, peace. What's happening? Yeah, it's definitely funny, but definitely no joke at all. You know, and it's really real. But like I said, a lot of times people not striving to get into the psychology of these young black men. You know, we not striving to break down the mental or the brain of black men. Like, that's swept under the rug, man. It's not commonly talked about. It's not popular to talk about it. You know, again, we complaining, we crying, things like that. The moment that we even attempt to express ourselves, man, it gets viewed in a very negative light. A very negative light. Which, again, like I said, that's very dangerous. Because for the most part, we already don't want to talk about it. So the moment that we decide to talk about it and you view it in a negative light, you setting us back 100 more years because we was like, see, this is why. Y'all done been there, you know, when you open up and somebody just disrespects your feelings and thoughts, and your first response is, see, this is why. This is why I don't do this. This is why I don't open up. Because look at how it gets treated. You know, we not fans of that mistreatment in regards to our feelings and emotions because we already don't want to reveal them. Unfortunately, the world really doesn't care about them, though. As a collective, yeah, we gonna have a select few that tell us, hey, we care. But like collectively, no. Collectively, they don't. Collectively, they do not. And that's just a fact. That's an unfortunate fact. Yeah, Big Smooth, and you know, and we don't take too well to being teased about our feelings and emotions and things like that. Like, seriously, when I talked about triggers and things like that, that's a trigger, man. Don't use the brother's feelings or emotions or secrets as ammunition to shoot at him later. Man, that's a trigger, man. That's not gonna end well for any party involved. Don't do that. That's a big trigger. He already didn't want to reveal those feelings to you. Now you using these feelings as ammunition to shoot at him later? Nah, that's gonna, nope. Like, don't do that. You know, don't do that at all. You know, they say it ain't nothing like a woman scorn, but man, you don't want to play. You don't want to tap into. You don't want to play with a man's emotions either. Like, to be flat, like, to be real, man, you don't want to do that either. You don't want to disrespect that man when he opens up emotionally either. You don't want to play that route neither. You don't want to play that game either. So they say, all right, nothing like a woman scorned and things like that. All right, you know, you don't want to. You do not want to play with a man's emotions, especially when it took a lot for that man to open up. You do not want to do that. You do not want to do that. I'm letting y'all know right now, you don't want to do that. When that man's up, don't play with his emotions. Don't play with his emotions, man. Don't tease him about something that he told you that was a secret. Don't do it. Don't do it. Unfortunately, the world judges us when we respond to that. And that's the unfortunate part, which is, again, why a lot of us don't say things, which is why a lot of us don't share things. Because we already know, if this gets used against me and I respond aggressively, then now I'm going to give you in a negative light. Oh, wow, this person just played I shared something with them that was a secret, and they used it against me. Nobody is going to care about that part of it. Oh, you should have just been that. You should have just walked away. You should have just did X, Y, and Z. Well, how about this person should have never used what I told them against me? See, that's that accountability part that we always, like, we never do that when we are analyzing these situations. Yeah, the person might shouldn't have did what they did, but man, the person provoked them is also in the wrong. The person that provoked them is also in the wrong. A lot of times when a domestic situation unfolds, we don't look at it like that. We just say, oh, this dude doing this, he a punk, he weak. Person shouldn't have also provoked him. Yes, the dude shouldn't have put his hands on her. Like, yes, the dude shouldn't have responded like that towards her. But she also should not have provoked him. That's both of them are wrong. So we can't keep giving passes to women when they provoke these dudes, when they know exactly what to say, and then they say it. That is wrong on so many levels. You have verbal abuse and you have emotional abuse. Neither one of those are cool. Neither one of those are cool. You know, but everybody expect a man to just be able to take emotional abuse. And I said verbal, I meant physical. You got physical abuse and you got the verbal abuse and emotional abuse. That's what I meant. But man, yeah, we supposed to be able to eat the verbal like the insults, the emotional abuse. Like, we supposed to be able to take that as men and not respond. We supposed to be able to eat that. We supposed to, like, that's how it's viewed. We supposed to be able to eat that, man. Man, that's messed up. How about the person be responsible and mature enough to not do that? Don't nobody ever talk about that. All they want to talk about is, hey, you shouldn't have responded like that. Well, okay, let's also focus on they shouldn't have said that. We got to stop acting like words don't hold no weight. See, we start talking about these things. Words are powerful. Words are powerful. Law of attraction. Woo, woo, woo. But then when somebody say something to provoke somebody, now all that goes out the window. So we can't start talking about how powerful words are. But then when you say something that's going to set a person off and they respond accordingly, now all of a sudden words don't have no power. You knew what you saying. You knew what you were saying and how that was going to impact that person. You knew it. You knew it. And you said it anyway. So now you got to deal with the consequences for speaking out of line. You revealed a secret. You revealed something. You used something as ammunition that brother trusted you with. Deal with your consequence. You shouldn't have said what you said. Yeah, they probably shouldn't have did what they did. They probably shouldn't do what they about to do. But you shouldn't have said what you said. And I'ma always hold that opinion. You know, so yeah, brothers shouldn't respond a certain way, but sisters shouldn't provoke them verbally neither. Both of those are garbage. Both of those are garbage, man. If you saying some things intentionally to hurt a dude or to get him to respond a certain type of way, you are trash. Like, that's trash behavior. Because you know how the world is going to view that brother when he responds, how you know he will respond. And you doing it on purpose. That is trash, man. I don't respect anybody that does that. That's complete garbage. All right, no, I didn't see it, but yeah, I was I was talking about that. In this book. In this book, it mentioned that too. about how a lot of black men were getting misdiagnosed with schizophrenia, or like paranoid schizophrenia, because they'll say things like, man, hey, when the cops get behind me, I'm nervous. Anxiety, things like that. And when they would talk to a white psychiatrist, the white psychiatrist would misdiagnose them and say, "Oh, that's paranoid schizophrenia," all because they can't relate to that. Society was shaped in a way to where we feel like the government is against us. We feel like the government is tapped into our devices because that's our history. We feel like when the cops get behind us, this could be our last ride. No other group feel like that, but like it's not their history. This is our history. So yeah, we feel like that. That don't mean we paranoid and we schizophrenic. So that's why a lot of times, man, you gotta deal when you dealing with the therapy, man, you gotta find somebody that can relate to you on that level. And there was like a lot of brothers was getting misdiagnosed with that because of those type of thoughts and feelings and things like that. And that's messed up. That's a legitimate concern. It's legitimate concern when a brother is driving and a cop gets behind him. Like seriously. When a cop gets behind me, I could be, like I said, I could be following all traffic laws. I could have my life. I could be clean as a whistle. I'm still nervous. And that's messed up. Why am I nervous? I know I ain't doing nothing. I ain't broke no law. If they pull me over, I'm clean as a whistle, but yet I'm still nervous. That's the reality for a lot of brothers, a lot of black men. My Parker, peace, what's happening? You say, do you have any advice on how a woman can navigate a situation where a man becomes distant when tough situations happens in his life? I don't know if you heard me in the beginning, but when a man becomes distant when tough situations happen in his life, I said this earlier, don't take it personal. You are not the cause of his distance. Don't take it personal, just be supportive. Eventually, he gonna come back around. But you are not the cause of why he had to distance himself. So don't take it personal. That's the most important thing you can do. When that brother is going through some tough times in life and he feels like isolation and distance is the answer, respect that. Don't try to force him to come back around before he's ready. Respect it. He's going to come back around when he's ready. Respect it. Don't take it personal. Don't feel like you are the problem and don't feel like you can be the solution because you're not the problem. You're not the reason why that brother had to distance himself. Life is getting a little crazy for the brother. So, hey, he got to distance himself so he can figure some things out. It has nothing to do with you. Don't take it personal. The moment you take it personal, now that's going to create a problem between you. So don't take that personal when that brother's like, man, I got to distance myself, or he just starts shutting down. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. Just be supportive. Just support them. Whatever they doing, support it. Again, he going to come around. When that support, like, just support him. A lot of times when stuff like that happens, the last thing people do is support. They trying to force that brother to talk. They trying to force that brother to communicate. They trying to force that brother to come around. No. Let him distance himself, man. Let him distance himself. Nothing personal. It's nothing that you did, nothing that you did wrong. You are not the cause of that. So don't feel like you are the cause of it. Just respect the space. Give him the space and support the space. And again, like I said, he will come back around when he's ready to come back around. Don't put no pressure on him. Because he already feeling the pressure. Life is getting tough. He dealing with a tough situation. So the pressure and the anxiety is already at its peak. So don't add no more. Don't add no more. Give him the space. Allow him to sort things out mentally. Allow him to figure these things out. Like that's the most important thing, straight up. You are not the cause of it. So just respect it, man. Don't take it personal. Like that's the best thing you can do when a brother is going through something like that. That's the best thing you can do. Dean, peace, what's happening? So I hope that answered your question there, my Parker. Like I hope that's a solution for something you may be dealing with or something somebody that you know. I hope that helps. But I can tell you from firsthand experience, when a brother is distancing himself, it don't have much of anything to do with the actual woman. Especially like when they dealing with a situation in life that then got tough. Distance is like the way we finna figure this thing out. Like that's how we about to conquer this issue. That's how we about to conquer this problem. Distance, isolation. Like when I isolate myself, I'm figuring things out. Like I need this isolation in order to just tap into my mind. I can't do that amongst people. I can't do that amongst the most loving people. I need that distance. I need that isolation to figure some things out mentally, to tap into myself mentally. That's what I need. Some people can figure things out with other people. I cannot. I have got to isolate myself. I got to be to myself in order to figure things out pertaining to myself. That's just how I am, and that's how a lot of brothers are. You know, that's how it is, man. Hey, let me go ahead, isolate real quick so I can get myself together. That's how I get myself together. It's like, all right, man, I'm isolate, you know, re-energize, man, get myself together. Boom, boom. That's how I got to do it. That's how I recharge. I isolate. That's the way that I recharge, and I know that I can speak for a lot of brothers. That's the way that they also recharge. Isolation. Isolation, man. You know, we gonna isolate, we gonna figure some things out. But if we feel like there's any pressure to interact with you, that's gonna tear us up. That's gonna tear us up. You know, so just respect the space, man. Don't add no more pressure. Don't add no more pressure to the situation, man. When that brother is like, man, I gotta distance myself, I gotta isolate, or if he just does it naturally, let it be. Let it be. Let it unfold how it's gonna unfold. Don't tamper with it. Don't say I know when you a woman and you dealing with a dude, I know you want to feel like you want to fix the situation, you want to fix your man, but like that you can't do that. You can't do it. Like I know you want to. If you with somebody, you had his love for him. You want to help him to the best of your you want to force him to change, you want to force him to get help, but you can't. You cannot do it. All you can do is respect the decisions that they were making and be supportive. That's it. That's it, man. You can't make them get help. Can't make them help themselves. I can't do any of that. Can't do it. D Monty, 100%. And that's a pet peeve. That's a pet peeve. Like when like I'm gonna be honest with you, when a person that's dealing with like a pet peeve is, are you okay? Are things okay? It's like that's the worst thing you could do when you're dealing with a brother that has that type of mental state. Because if you keep asking them, are they okay enough times, eventually we gonna start searching for problems. People like, damn, why they keep asking me, am I okay? I don't feel like anything is wrong, but if they keep asking me enough times, I'm gonna start searching for problems and I'm gonna find some. So now the depression has been made worse. You keep asking that person, is they okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Fam, I just need to isolate myself. But if you keep asking me, am I okay? I'm gonna find a problem somewhere. Because it ain't hard for a person to find a problem. You know, you asking, are they okay, is suggesting that there is a problem. If you keep doing it enough, then that person is going to believe that they have a problem and they're going to search for it. So a lot of people don't even realize that. It's like, nah, man, I'm good. I just need to isolate. Like, I just need to break away for a second, you know what I'm saying? Just sort some things out. Don't mean that there's this hardcore problem. You know, seriously. You know, a lot of times people don't be realizing that. Again, that may seem like something that's insignificant. It may even seem like something that's helpful. Asking, are you okay? Like, but no, chill. It's like if I'm not telling you that there's a problem, then just don't assume that there's a problem and keep asking. You know, just because I need to isolate, just because I'm to myself, that don't mean that I have a problem right now. That don't mean that I'm feeling sad or anything. Like, that just means I'm trying to figure things out. I'm trying to figure things out. You know, just let me do that. You know, let me be me. You know, that's what brothers are saying. Let me be me. Let me figure this out. You know, we got it, man. Just let us figure it out. Oh, James, for sure. You know, that's the power of the do not disturb. You know, and that's the first thing that people start doing. They start disturbing you, unfortunately. You know, when you're trying to isolate, you get disturbed. The main thing you're striving to avoid, which is disturbance, is the main thing that happens when you're striving to avoid it. They disturb you, disturbing your peace. You know, when it's unfortunate, and it happens a lot. The moment you like, I'm going into my little cave here. I'm going into my cave and isolate myself. Everybody calling you. Everybody hitting you up. Trying to figure out what's wrong. Not trying to figure out what's wrong to help you. Oh, wow, they just trying to get in your business. They nosy. Like, that's it. So they want to go gossip. They want to go gossip to other friends and family members and say, oh, such and such said they dealing with this. That's all they want to do. So, man, I'm good. Leave me alone. Let me be me in peace. Let me deal with the issues in peace. Oh yeah, ma, for sure. And that's normal, and that's very normal. If you got love for somebody, you want to be there for them. That's normal. But you being there for them is you giving them that space. Trust me. Man, that we may not express it, but we love it when we get the space and there's no problem, there's no added pressure to communicate, no added pressure to interact. When you just give us the space and everything cool, I'm telling you, most men love it. Like, oh man, she giving me my space and I don't feel no added pressure. Like she ain't taking it personal. Man, it's a burden that has been released. It's a burden that's been released. Like there ain't no pressure to go out here and communicate and try to interact because I don't feel like it, because I got to deal with some things. I got enough that's on my plate. Cool. So now I can really figure things out comfortably. I'm telling you, we appreciate that. We appreciate it. Just chill out. You know what I'm saying? Chill out. Supply the space. Everything will work out. Everything will work out. Don't start trying to do too much. A lot of times that's what happens too. Start to do too much and it gets a little extreme. Like I said, the last thing we want is somebody that's trying to be overly helpful. Again, that may sound like, oh, that's pessimistic, but it's real. When most brother, like, listen, man, you trying to do way too much. That's the person that keep asking, are you okay? Yeah, they may have good intentions, but it's like, all right, yo, chill. Chill. Stop asking me, am I okay? Like, stop doing that. Like, you might have good intentions, but that starts to get like, it's extra. Like, no. Like, now you about to create a problem. So it's like, just cool it, man. We'll let you know. When the dude is up to it, he gonna let you know, he gonna build, he gonna chop it up with you. But when you start adding that pressure, he gonna keep ducking off. And he gonna put up more of a wall. He gonna try to avoid you even more when you try to put the pressure on him. That's resistance. You gonna get that resistance. And that's a fact. So just, hey, let it unfold. Let it be. Don't go against the tide. If the tide is telling you isolation is isolation time, roll with isolation time. You might need to isolate. Like, y'all, you got to catch the jewel in that. That brother isolating, that's giving you room or time to isolate and figure things out for yourself. Tap into yourself, become a better person. So embrace it. Take the best part from it. Like, all right, we both isolating. He isolating, he doing his own thing. He got to distance himself so he can figure his life out. I'm going to do the same for myself. Take the best part. So you embrace the time just like he embracing the time, and you figure things out. And then y'all going to meet back together in the center, and then there we go. We that much more powerful. Don't worry about it. Don't stress yourself out. Worrying about, is he okay? No, get yourself figured out. That's going to help him also. Oh yeah, Dean. Yeah, that's yeah. I despise that, man. That's annoying. It's annoying, man. You don't need to know everything, yo. And a lot of times, man, when I feel like somebody is like that, I just don't even tell them. Like, I don't even let them know. Like, it's not for you to know. If it's not for you to know, then I don't feel no responsibility towards informing you. So I won't. Like, if this is some information you don't need to know, like, I'm not telling you. And that's flat out. Oh, James, for sure. Yeah, they be checking everything, man. They be trying to lurk on your social media so they can see what's wrong and all that, man. Like I said. so they can gossip. And it's trash, man. But y'all, man, with that being said, man, I gotta make a move, man. I gotta get back up here to this gym, and finish off my clients for the evening. This was a nice build. This was a productive and efficient build. Hopefully the sisters that tapped in, y'all took some jewels away from this, man. And y'all have learned some things in regards to how to effectively communicate with brothers that's suffering from depression. And it's a lot of brothers out here that's suffering from depression, anger, and anxiety. And shout out to all the brothers, man. We gonna conquer this mental health, man. We gonna conquer it, because that's what we do. We conquerors by nature. So we gonna conquer these issues, man. But we gotta start communicating these issues a lot more, man. We gotta start speaking out on these things a lot more. And we gotta make this a more popular topic of discussion. So we can get more brothers to start speaking on this, man. So it gotta start somewhere. Why not here? But I'm out, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. I appreciate donations. I appreciate the input, all that good stuff, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Wednesday, and I'm going to tap in whenever I decide to tap in. Y'all know how I do it. But I'm out, y'all. Peace.